So someone asked, how come the FreeShow app on my Mac M2 Air crashes all the time? Please help. And so if you're running into issues with FreeShow lagging on you, this is important, and I feel your pain. I'm so sorry that's happening. First thing I would say is, if you run into FreeShow lagging or crashing on you, I would make sure that you have everything set to what you need, as opposed to just all the bells and whistles running for no reason. So simplify it as best as possible, because this program is very robust. It can do a lot of different things. And when I first got it, I turned everything on, I activated everything. And when you do that, it can take a toll on the program. So first step is, let's go over here to the right, and you'll see that we've got all the different settings. So I went up to the top and clicked on the settings wheel. And if we go to general, not much here that I would say that you need to change that would cause any problems or anything like that. But if you go to the outputs can be a challenge, right? This is where I was able to save some bandwidth, I guess you could say, on my functioning of FreeShow, because I did have about 4 different outputs going at the same time. And as you can see right now, I've only got one, right? But if I would have turned this one on, so this is my stream output, you see another one come there, and then I've got a stage output. I can go there and I can activate that. Running those 3 outputs right there, for example, can take a toll, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. The program is designed to support that. So it doesn't really, I don't see a lag on my computer, and I've got an M1 Pro Mac. So I'm not in the M2 level or anything like that, but I do have an M1 Pro. So it does have a fan built in. I've never heard it kick in while I've been using the program, but for my stream output, I've got NDI enabled. If you are using NDI, then keeping it enabled is necessary. But if you're not using it, I would disable that. All right. It's not going to be necessary for you to keep on because all it's going to do is it's going to take up processing power on your computer and things like that. All right. And so when I click it, I'm gonna go back down, look at the bottom right. It says output screen capture enabled. This may cause performance issues, only use if needed. All right. And so that's one thing. So those signs pop up on the program, which are really helpful and good. The other thing I did to help streamline for me was I went, let's see here. Is it here? Hardware acceleration. It has an option to say disable hardware acceleration. I keep that off because I don't want to disable hardware acceleration. You want to keep that on if you've got hardware acceleration that you can use in your computer in terms of graphic processing or processing power. I'm not exactly sure which one the developer designed it with, but I do know it works with multiple cores. And so that's a big deal that we want to make sure that you don't have that activated. All right. And then the other thing that was a major game changer for me, after you update, make sure your NDI is on or off as needed. After you make sure that you haven't disabled hardware acceleration, the thing I learned was the stage display. I had it set to where my stage display showed the current slide. All right. And so the current slide for me right now, it's black. Okay. It's a black, no background slide. You can see it here. It's current slide. And so you can have that. But the issue was I had all kinds of crazy I say crazy, they weren't crazy, but I had background. So if I go here to Galatians and I activate this and then I put some media on it, right? So I put a backdrop on it and I'll do a clean backdrop. And let's just pick something simple. We'll do this one. Okay. And so I've got this simple backdrop on and it's there. If I go to my stage display, look down there. So let's click on this. You'll see it's showing the backdrop as well. Okay. And so that backdrop is the slide. So it's the current slide. It actually shows the backdrop, the words, the text, all that stuff. Every image and anything that's on the slide is going to be there. If your slide is primarily made of images, like some pictures from a PowerPoint or a slideshow that is full of images or videos, all that's going to show on your stage display, real time, active movement and everything else, videos playing, they're going to all run through this stage display, just like a slide that's being presented that's not on the stage. Okay. What I learned was I don't typically need to see this. I don't even need a stage display because, like I said, I do most of my stuff online. So I don't need a stage display at all. But Many of you may be in a smaller ministry or a larger ministry where you do need that stage display, and you do need it to show the exact what's showing on the screen for the speaker to know when the video is going to be over, or what picture is showing, or what image is showing, or they just have slides that are pictures that they've sent you and they're not text slides. Then this is going to be important. I would say make sure to eliminate any use of NDI or anything like that to ensure that this can run a little bit smoother. The other option you have is, so current slide does take up a lot of bandwidth, right? So if I go to my stage and I edit it, and forgive the noise if you hear it, there's a guy cutting or blowing the leaves over here, I guess. But I can click that and I can delete it. And let's say you want to show when the video is over, you can just put a video, I'm sorry, I tried to drag it, but you can put a video clock on here and it'll show you when the video is over if there's a video that's going to be playing, right? And so if I go to, I don't even know if I have any videos, but if I had videos, let's see, videos, wallpaper, photos, let's do backdrop. I got some video backdrops. Those might work. Let me see. So if I do that, notice the countdown here. It shows that this video is playing, right? And it's showing that it's running. And if I go into the stage edit, they've also got this video countdown timer. And so let's see how long the video actually is. So this video is only 20 seconds. And what I would say is probably to use the video countdown timer if you want to make sure that the speaker can see when the video is over, because there's videos in your slides. I would use this instead of actually the video itself, so they can get an idea of when it's over. Now, this is just a backdrop looping, but it's still a video. So it's reading it as if it's a video. So if you had another video that's playing, it would be read. It would look like a backdrop if you could put words over it, but you also can play it without words over the top of it. And so I would say do everything you can to avoid using the current slide as a part of your stage layout, along with the next slide. It's the same idea. You don't want to have the next slide be there because it's the same thing as pulling up any generated videos or images that are going to show up on the next slide. What I've done instead is I've done slide text. For the current slide, you'll see that here. And for the next slide, you see that here. So any text, so for scriptures and things like that, that's where, for me, the stage display is going to be the most helpful, especially for singers and worship leaders and things like that. When you plan your songs, so if I go to the song and we got the song going and we go to the stage display, you'll see the verse that they're on and then the next slide with the next part of the verse or whatnot. I'm not sure. I'm not a musician, so I don't know if it's a verse or a hook or chord or whatever it's called, but this is most helpful for them as well. Seeing the backdrop and all that stuff can almost be distracting. So you want to be mindful of that, to not even use your stage display as more of a distraction because they got to see the globe spinning around and all this stuff in the background. That's only helpful for your audience. For your singers and preachers, just use the text, right? So the next slide text or the current slide text is all I use because I found that to be very beneficial and helpful, and it keeps the program running smoothly. All right. So those three things have been really helpful for me. So in the settings, I go to outputs. I make sure that NDI is only on if needed. And if it's not needed, I'll just disable the whole whole output, I guess you could say. And I can turn that off too. And then for the stage display, it's enabled, but there's no NDI going out for that. That's fine. And then on your other setting option here, make sure that you have not disabled hardware acceleration. That's number 2. And then going into your stage setup and finding out, do you have, like for this particular stage, I've got the current slide showing and or the next slide. So it's showing the full features of that slide. You want to do your best to eliminate that if you can, because that will take a load on your system processing that plus the regular output that there is with that video playing as well. All right. So those are some ideas of what I think you can do to help streamline the program from not crashing on you. If there's other things you're doing or that you're seeing after you've done all this, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you're running into, because that's something we need to take to the developers. And I just chat with them through Reddit. You can go to the Reddit FreeShow app page or post or whatnot and connect with them that way. And if you have questions that I can send them, I'll be happy to do that as well. But hopefully this helps. Again, I'm Gary, and I'll talk with you guys next time.